Okay, day is the 9th. Happy Easter to everyone. I really don't have that much to say today. A lot of times I have a live stream on about this time. Not today, I'm not going to do it because I'm pretty sure everyone's off enjoying Easter. I was going to try to make a very critical phone call, but I'm pussing out. I'm not going to lie about it. It's just hard to make certain phone calls. Did have someone make an appointment to talk to me today, but they didn't answer their phone. So I don't know. Maybe I'll catch up. Maybe I won't. And then again, with these buyers and stuff, I have, that one buyer. I don't know. I don't get people sometimes. It's kind of. I'm just going to reminds me of something. Several years ago, back when the average price of a house was still in the 200s. Like in the 250 range or so. I remember I had this client, and they were only qualified for 200,000, but they were looking for houses like 230, and they wanted all this stuff. And then each time they're going, well, you can probably negotiate it down for me, can't you? And all you can go is like, it's springtime. Every house is disappearing with multiple offers. Normal springtime is, you got good houses disappear really quick. It's the regular houses, mediocre and all that stuff that sit around. But they wanted to look at the good houses. And you're sitting there, it's like, okay, you're looking at a $250,000 house. You can negotiate it down to 200, can't you? Oh, by the way, they needed closing costs. They had no money. It was a VA loan. So they were hoping someone would cover their closing cost. Matter of fact, this was a funny one. When I submitted an offer for them one time, wife calls me up and she goes, we don't agree with what you're putting in this offer. And I'm like, well, tell me what don't you agree with? She goes, well, basically anything that, for closing costs that the buyer has to pay, she didn't agree with. That traditionally the buyer has to pay, like, oh, I'm looking here, you got down for inspection, that we're supposed to pay for the inspection. I'm like, yeah, the buyer pays for their own inspection. She goes, that doesn't seem right. It seems like the seller should pay for my inspection. I'm like, why would the seller pay for your inspection? It goes, because we're inspecting the house so they can sell the house. Never heard that one before or since. That was years ago. And she goes, and this thing about we're supposed to pay for the appraisal. I'm like, in all cases, the buyer pays for the appraisal. For one thing, you pay for it ahead of time, so there's no way to even like put it in closing costs. It's not really technically a closing cost. Neither is an inspection. She goes, well, the seller should be paying for that. And I'm like, well, tell me about that. How is the seller supposed to pay for that? She goes, well, the appraisal is so we can get a loan to buy their house. So they should be paying for it. This is the same woman. I'm serious, man. So I can't tell how Zillow is accurate now or not, but Zillow used to not be accurate. They couldn't keep up because they were not part of the MLS. So they got their data secondhand weeks later. So she would sit there just like scrolling through houses on Zillow and going, well, what about this house? And I'd go, I had my iPad with me. I go, that house is under contract. She did this about 4 or 5 times. And I sent you the resources you need. Please stop using Zillow. Zillow is very inaccurate this time of year, which it was. It was very inaccurate. And she'd go, and then she'd look down. She'd start scrolling again. What about this house? That house is under contract. Please stop using the Zillow. It is inaccurate. She'd look at me and go, and then she would just keep doing the same damn thing. That's what's reminding me of what's going on today, or this weekend. Got clients who want a very, 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 very particular thing, and they don't want to budge 1 inch, but they want it under certain prices, and talking about, oh, you can negotiate that down for me, can't you? But they're wanting something that's super, super specific. And what's so funny is, I thought we had a deal this weekend for them to buy something, and then they text me, it's like, we need to just rent a place for 6 months to a year and build what we need. Well, there's a little bitty problem with that. First of all, you got to go to builders. You've already been to the builders and you know what they're building. So what the hell are you going to try to build? There is nothing that you need that is out there. Now, if you want to be specific, you have all these people who do this shit, and I just don't understand it. Actually, I do, but they get the fantasies in their head. So it's like, well, I'll just build a house myself and put what I want in it. Yeah, it don't work that way. First of all, you got to secure land. Land ends up being a lot more expensive than people think, especially in this day and age. I'll sit there and be like, what's your budget? I got a lot of money, $600,000. You'd be like, oh, fuck. Okay, so then you play the game with them. I need to live in this area. Okay. So let's go look at land. 1.1 million, 1.2. Well, I can't afford that. Oh, okay. So what's your budget? Oh, okay. So let's see. So we got to get the land. You keep going down. Maybe you find something, but that's outside the area I want to live. But then maybe you find something. And then it's like, okay, we can use, okay. So let me go to the next part. You now have to get plans for it. There are no plans. So there are plans. You got to go and find an architect and possibly a structural engineer and pay them thousands of dollars. Thousands. Then you take the plans and you take them to the county and you spend months getting them approved by the county. And now you got a piece of land and plans approved by the county. You're out of maybe $350,000 so far. Got a $600,000 budget. Now you got to build a bitch. Here, there are 3 custom builders. 2 are luxury only, like multi-million-dollar homes. The other one will build you a custom home. Now, I don't know what the price is, but the next part is, okay, maybe you can use a GC, general contractor. Who knows what they're going to charge? Who knows how far it's going to go over? Do you have cash? None of them ever had cash. They're planning on taking out a loan. Oops. Most loan lenders will not lend for a project like that. They will not let you purchase raw land to develop on and pay for the building of your dream house. Now, there are lenders who do it, but they already have a loan from Wells Fargo. I'm making that shit up. Wells Fargo probably won't allow you to do that. Because, first of all, they got to pay for land. That's raw land. That has no value. That if you default on the loan, they got nothing. It can take years to sell land. So they don't want to do that. Then you got to get the architecture work done. Then you got to get it approved by the city. Then you got to build. Well, builder's not going to come in there and just start building your damn house. They need some mooloo, which means the lender has to give them money for a house that's not built. And then at different parts of the building, they give them draws. Yeah, you ain't getting a custom house built for $600,000. You'll be lucky to keep it under $1 million. But it is, like I said before, like I said yesterday and probably sometime last week, it's what drives the real estate agents crazy. Because you see this, like you go into a new home builder. You've already told them that they don't have something. They don't do, I got to make up something so I'm not letting shit out. They don't do 5th bedrooms. I'll make it up. So they go in, and then the first question they ask every single time, can you make a 5th bedroom? And they look at you and go like, no, we can't. Do you know why? There is a shell. They have to build in that shell because that's where the permits and the architecture is. They ran that stuff already and they purchased the materials. So they build set things. And it's like, why is this not getting... But every time you walk to a new builder, you sit there and you tell them ahead of time, they do not, why are you going, are you sure you want to go to this builder? You need a 5th bedroom and they only offer up to 4. Look at you like, okay. Just like the lady with the Zillow. Then they walk into the place and before anybody says a word, can you build a 5th bedroom? The fuck? You can't? Why can't you? Because they're track builders. Track builders have specific things that they will do. When you go to the center where you get to choose out your where you get to add that cost by adding in the cabinets that you want and the countertop and the floors and shit. Well, I want travertine floors. Nope, we only offer these towels here. Well, I don't want those towels. I want travertine floors. They didn't offer travertine floors. You knew that before. You still bought the house. You put the offer in on it. You go to the build center and you say, I want travertine floors. The shit doesn't make sense to me. You knew ahead of time. Somebody told you they don't offer travertine floors. They were told multiple times. They go to the build center to pick out their shit and they say, can you do travertine floors for me? The reason they have those designs, the cabinets, everything else, because that's what they planned for that community. And then they buy it in bulk or else it'll cost more money. And I said I was going to keep this shit short. But, it's just frustrating as hell because you got people doing stuff like just had somebody just not even looking at the house on, and people do this shit all the time. Do you think they'll take? How the fuck am I going to know what somebody's going to do? Do you think they'll take 50,000 less? Would you take 50,000 less for your house? The first question somebody should ask is not, you think they'll take 50,000 less? First question you should ask is, how much is this house really worth? What are the comps? What's selling in the neighborhood? Instead of doing that, you think they'll take 50,000 less? The fuck? If you were selling a house and somebody came and went, you think you'll take 50,000 less? What the fuck do you think you'll say? No. And then they go like, can you negotiate that for me? First part of negotiations is writing an offer. Let me tell you something. Real estate agents ain't going to sit around and entertain will your client take 50% less or 50,000 less? Because it doesn't mean shit. You could just be throwing these offers all over town, bullshit offers all over town. It needs to be in writing to negotiate. It's just common fucking sense. But not everybody's a real estate agent. But it's just frustrating as fuck. When more than a year ago, when the market was going crazy and everybody was paying 50,000 over, you'd have people like, you think they'll take 50,000 less, or how little can I pay for this? And it's like, well, they have 25 offers. I literally had this one. They had 25 offers on the house in the first day. So how far under the list price can I go? Be like, they've had 25 offers in the first day. You think they'll take 50,000 less? It's like nobody's listening. Then they do that 2 or 3 times. Then they offer the list price. Then they go, oh, how much did it sell for? Or how much was the highest offer? Agents aren't going to tell you that shit. Because if it falls through, they've lost that negotiation technique. So then, when it sells, they go like, oh, it sold for 50,000 more. And another one sold for 50,000 more. I guess I have to have $50,000. Really? This is another one. I need to know what all the other offers were before I make an offer. Well, why do you need to know that? I need to make sure my offer is good, or is it above the other offers, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to bring it out. It's because no one's thinking of this shit. It's like, okay, do you realize if the agent tells me what the other offers are, that means they're going to tell other people what your offer is. So the next person who comes along, if they want to, they will outbid you. She's like, oh no, I don't want that to happen. I want to know everybody else's offers, but I don't want anyone to know mine. Does that make any goddamn sense to anybody? If the agent's going to tell everybody about all the other offers they receive, they're going to tell them about your offer. Or else it would be what's known as an auction, which they do have in real estate. So if you want to know what everybody else is on or are, go to an auction. They actually do. Some people do sell real estate by auction. I mean, like real estate, not like some distressed stuff or probate stuff. It's a technique. I think it was like Michael Jordan sold a home for by auction, and he actually got a lot of money for it because it's that eBay effect, But everybody else is jumping in. You got to jump in. Okay, I guess I'm done for the night. I said I was going to be short, and I lied again. But this shit, it's just like you put this stuff out there in YouTube videos, and it's like they don't believe you, and then they go their own way, and then they finally figure it out. And the more honest you are with them, it sucks because, like, I'm serious. The top agent in this town, I ain't gonna mention names, said one time that if somebody said that they're looking for a house in the Ridges, for those of you who don't know, that's a neighborhood that's like multi-millions of dollars, like $10, $20 million homes. If they said they're looking for a home in the Ridges and they got $300,000 to spend, you know what this person's answer to the person would be? I'm going to try my best to find that house for you, knowing that they're never going to find that house. The entire purpose is to get them to finally realize that they cannot have a house in the Ridges for $300,000. Same thing about all these people who have their houses overpriced. These are just agents, what they call buying the listing. And, oh yeah, I can get $600,000 for your house that's worth $450. I got a special technique. Many times I heard that shit. And then they go, after 2 or 3 weeks when the house hasn't sold or no one's come to look at it because it's worth $450 and it's listed for $600. You see this all the time. They go, the market didn't respond to your price and you need to lower it. In other words, to $450. Or they just milk your ass down and you end up losing more money. So the funniest thing is the people who say stuff in real estate that makes you feel uncomfortable as shit, they're one, probably telling you the truth. And number two, they're probably making the least amount of money because these people who are sitting there saying, oh yeah, I got a special technique. I can sell your house for $600,000. That's why real estate agents are ranked lower than used car salesmen, politicians, and everybody else. And it's because you want to be lied to. Every man wants to be told his dick is big, and every woman wants to be told that she is pretty and smart. You got a micro penis, dude, and you ain't that pretty, and you're dumb as hell because you believe somebody who told you how pretty and smart you were, and then fucked your ass behind your husband's back. But he was my soulmate. Same shit. Just dumb shit. I'm out.